Well, hello there, friends. It is Sunday, December 23rd, 2018, late at night. I deleted the previous video and I just decided to redo it just to make it a little bit on point, hopefully less rambly and not so dramatic. Just mostly real talk, if you will. Without trying to go on too many tangents. So, this isn't meant to be some sort of dramatic, oh man, I'm leaving YouTube, or this is my last video, or anything like that. No, it's nothing like that. Basically, if you, how do I put this? My posting will probably not be very regular or consistent, so just to kind of let you know. So feel free to unsubscribe, whatever it is that you want to do. Basically, folks, how do I explain it as clear as I can possibly be? The title is probably going to be something like responsibility and control, folks. It is long overdue for me to become responsible for probably the first time in my life, for my life, and to regain back some control of my life that I've talked about 1,000 times over but never did. And it's time for me to stop talking about it and actually do it. I said, when it sort of feels like you have no control over anything in your life, when you're just kind of a leaf in the wind, going day to day, mood to mood, whatever it might strike you. Well, you start taking control over what you can in life, so that you at least have control over something. You may be just a worthless peon at the end of the day, but it doesn't mean that you have to just completely give up all control of your life, So, I am getting older and older, folks, faster and faster. It'd be one thing if I was still in my 20s, but now that I'm almost in my mid-30s, I think that it's kind of time that, for the fucking around to stop. And that's, I suspect, a lesson that those of you who are younger watching this, if you don't learn that sooner, you'll definitely learn that later. The longer you keep putting shit off, and the older and older you get, the worse you'll be off for it, and worse position you're going to be to try to change it. So I'm getting older, folks. It's getting older faster, and as fun as all of this has been, folks, as much as it's been fun to vent and stream and this and that, as I said in the video I deleted, everything has its time and place, but it doesn't have its time and place forever. And it's just having the honesty and courage to recognize and step away from that. That's not to say, obviously, you kind of let it all go and forever, but you do need to have a certain, you got to recognize where it's like, wherever you're at in life, maybe that it's time to put a focus on something else And right now, folks, the only focus that really, truly, truly matters is not, well, am I going to stream for Christmas and New Year and what's the update video for this week or that week, folks? The only thing that matters right now for the foreseeable future is, for me, you've already talked about this 1,000 times. Here you talking about it again, folks. You're right, and I'm going to talk about it however many times I need to before it finally gets through my fucking thick skull and actually takes. I need to. There's only 3 things, more or less, that matter right now. Getting my ass finally, for the first time in life, actually in shape. Building my skill set up to get another job, another and better job. But that's not to say, well, are you gonna really enjoy it? Like, it doesn't fucking matter what you're gonna enjoy or not. Just at some point, it's about doing what you need to do, and not all of it's gonna necessarily be just fun and games. And then eventually, folks, yes, moving out of my parents' place. Because that's another thing that more and more I'm just like, oh man, I just wish I had a place of my own where I could just be by yourself and feel like you can think, you know what I mean? So stuff like that. So, it's all stuff that I've basically put off for an extremely long time, and I'm now at the point where I can't really ignore that any longer. And the more I keep screwing around with that and ignoring it, the more that I am going to regret it. So that is the only thing that really matters right now, folks. Now, this whole YouTube thing is, everything has its pros and cons, right? You make connections with people. Yeah, you get a whole bunch of people who laugh at you too. But I don't really want this to be like the only thing I have in life, As much as I do appreciate some of the people I've been able to connect with, at the end of the day, you need to start to manifest something in the real world, not just being some sort of shit tier meme person on the internet, And it's also kind of this whole thing is kind of weird, you have to admit, where you basically it's a one-sided thing where people think they know everything about you, but you don't really know anything about the people watching you, more or less. And at the end of the day, people don't really know everything about you. It's just, oh, well, he's fat, or he's this, and it's just a weird one-sided thing. I don't know. It's so that's sort of all this is at. Is just, you got to ask yourself, at what point is it all just freaking entertainment? There was a point in time where the whole turn on the camera and rant and ramble about your day had its place, but it can't continue forever, folks. As much as maybe some of you found comforting, like, no offense, but at some point it's you've ranted everything you possibly have. You know, there's kind of nothing left to really say anymore. It's no longer about what else can I find to complain or talk about. It's about, all right, shit, man. I vented and rambled about the world. Well, like, shit, what can I do? But what can I actually do in this world, you know? So that's where it's at, folks. This will probably be, well, I don't have any plans for a Christmas and New Year or anything stream, folks, so this will probably be the last video for the rest of the year, and we'll see about 2019, folks. So I hope you all have a good Christmas and a great New Year. So, and I would very strongly urge those of you who will listen to kind of learn that you know, it's not worth running from the real world all the time. You know, it's simply not worth it. If there's anything that I've discovered, folks, you can only run for so long. You can only run and try to hide from things for so long. Sooner or later, it will catch up to you. And believe me, it's always at seemingly the worst possible time. So, as addicting as it all may be, you gotta, I don't know, you gotta take what you can from this YouTube, whatever stuff, man, but don't get all, I don't know, don't build your whole day in life around it, you know? Just because you're kind of a tough spot in life. It has its place, but don't let it consume you, you know? When you're getting into this weird thing where you're watching people, I don't know, all little groups out there and the whatever, the videos, this person arguing with that person, this person calling out that person, just, I don't know, sometimes you just stop and think about that stuff and it's like, man, none of this shit means anything at all, you know? And so you ask yourself, why are you even watching it? Why are you watching me? Why are you watching other people like me? How is it benefiting you, you know? You know, and I did, let's just say I have some subscriptions to some online things for content that I went ahead and just canceled because I realized it's just, man, it's just entertainment, you know? That's all it really is. And at this point, it serves you no purpose at all. So that's where I'm at, folks. Hopefully that was a bit clearer, less rambly. Still rambly, but not so freaking dramatic. So, whereas before I had great anxiety and confusion and just a clogged up head that was like, man, I don't even know what to do. I'm just so confused and stuff by life, but not so anymore. And when you've got the clarity and knowledge, more or less, at this point, all that's left is to now follow through and do it, folks. That is the number one priority, because at the end of the day, it's your fucking life. Not, escaping to the internet or video games or anything like that, but going back off into the real world and trying to actually live rather than constantly finding a new escape and a new hole to crawl off into. So, and on that note, folks, I will end it off there. So, yeah, I guess that's about it, folks. I'll see you when I see you, and I wish you the best of luck too. All right? Bye-bye.